All right, everybody, welcome to another deep dive. Today, we're going to get a little, how do I say this, otherworldly.
Sounds intriguing.
Yeah, we're going straight to the source. Well, one source anyway. A 19th century researcher, Allan Kardec, in his book, The Spirits Book.
Ah, Kardec. Always a fascinating journey into the world of spirits.
He was really trying to understand, the big questions, like where do we come from? What's it all about? So he turned to, well, those who might have some insight, spirits.
Using mediums, no less. And what's really cool is his book is structured like a Q&A session.
So we have like this direct line to these spiritual insights. Pretty wild, right?
Absolutely. It's a unique perspective on existence, that's for sure.
And for today's deep dive, we're going to zoom in on Chapter 3 of Part 1, all about creation.
Okay, so how did these spirits view the creation of Earth?
Yeah, do they see it like, poof, humans just appeared?
Not quite. They actually described the early Earth as this pretty chaotic scene. Think of it like, I don't know, a blender full of all the elements just swirling around with crazy energy.
So not exactly the Garden of Eden, huh?
Not at first. But over time, these elements, they started combining, forming the building blocks of life. It was a gradual process.
So not instant humans, but like a slow cosmic cooking.
Exactly. It's fascinating. They talk about this, what they call a latent state. Like the potential for everything, humans, animals, plants, everything, was already present on Earth.
Like a bunch of seeds just waiting to sprout.
That's a great way to put it. Dormant until the conditions were right. And we still see this today, right? Think about insects lying dormant for years or seeds that can survive for centuries.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so where does Adam fit into all of this? The Bible tells us he was the first human.
Well, this is where things get a little, controversial. The spirits, they actually say that Adam wasn't the first human. He was important, for sure, but they say humans appeared in different places and at different times.
Whoa, multiple Adams. That kind of flips the script, doesn't it?
It does. And Kardec, he actually asked them specifically about this. How did different races come about if we weren't all from one Adam and Eve?
Yeah, what'd they say to that?
Their response is pretty interesting. They talk about climate, lifestyle, even cultural practices shaping the differences between races, kind of like how siblings, even with the same parents, can turn out so different.
So nature and nurture, both at play. But even with all these differences, did they see humanity as, I don't know, unified?
Oh, absolutely. They really stress that we're all connected. They call us, and I quote here, brothers and sisters in God, sharing the same origin and working towards the same goal.
That's a pretty powerful message.
Yeah.
We might look different, act different, but ultimately we're all in this together.
Right. And it gets even bigger. Remember, these spirits are claiming that Earth isn't the only planet with life. They believe there are countless other worlds out there.
Okay, now we're talking. Alien civilizations. Do they say what they're like? Are we talking little green men?
Right.
Or something more, I don't know, advanced?
They didn't go into specifics about their appearance, but they do say that some of these civilizations might be far ahead of us, not just in terms of technology, but morally and spiritually as well.
So like super advanced, but also super peaceful, like cosmic gurus.
You got it. It's like they're saying that true progress isn't just about building bigger and better stuff. It's about inner development. It's about compassion and understanding the deeper meaning of life.
Makes you think, huh? What would a society built on those principles look like? Would they even need laws or governments?
It's a fascinating question, isn't it? And it makes you wonder if maybe we've got our priorities a little mixed up here on Earth.
Yeah, we're so focused on conquering space, but haven't quite figured out how to live in peace with each other.
That's a good point. It's almost like these spirits are giving us a subtle nudge like, hey, maybe focus on inner peace before you go conquering the galaxy.
All right, I'm trying to wrap my head around all this, but I got to ask, most planets would be too cold and dark for life, right? We're lucky to be in this sweet spot from the sun.
That's what we think, yeah. But Kardec asked the spirits about that, and their answer was pretty surprising.
What do they say?
They basically said, and I'm paraphrasing here, who said the sun is the only source of light and heat.
Whoa. Are they talking about other ways to get energy? Like what, cosmic battery?
They actually mention electricity. Think about it. Even here on Earth, we have the aurora borealis, those amazing light shows in the sky, all powered by electricity.
So they're saying on other planets, electricity could be a major force, creating environments we can't even imagine.
Exactly. It really shows how limited our understanding of the universe is. We're just starting to scratch the surface.
I mean, this is all so fascinating. But I gotta be honest, I'm having a hard time squaring this with what the Bible says. Like 6 days of creation and all that.
Yeah. That's a common question. And the spirits actually address it directly. They say that a lot of the contradictions come from taking the Bible too literally.
So not throwing out the Bible, but maybe reading it a little differently.
Exactly. They suggest that parts of it, like the 6 days of creation, could be symbolic. Instead of 24-hour days, maybe they represent vast periods, millions, even billions of years.
Which, now that you mention it, actually lines up with what science tells us about how long it took for Earth to form.
Right. It's like they're trying to bridge the gap between science and spirituality, showing how they can work together to tell a more complete story.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. It's like they're encouraging us to look beyond the surface to see the deeper meaning behind these ancient texts.
And they go even further, suggesting that scientific discoveries, instead of contradicting God, actually reveal his power even more.
It's like saying, look at how amazingly complex the universe is. That's got to be the work of something incredible. I like that perspective.
It's a beautiful way to look at it, isn't it? Seeing science and spirituality as two sides of the same coin, both leading us toward a deeper understanding of the universe.
And that's really what this whole deep dive is about, isn't it?
Hmm.
Looking beyond the surface, questioning our assumptions, and being open to new ideas, even if they seem a little out there.
Absolutely. The spirits are challenging us to expand our minds and see the universe with fresh eyes. It's a journey of discovery, and it's just getting started.
Well, I am definitely intrigued. There's so much more to unpack here, and I can't wait to see where this exploration takes us next.
Me too. The spirits have a lot more to say, and it's going to be an amazing ride. It's amazing how these spirits, they weave together these different threads like science, spirituality, history. It all becomes part of this grand narrative.
Yeah, it's like they're saying, don't put these things in separate boxes. Look for the connections.
Exactly. And Kardec, he's like a detective, right? He keeps asking questions, trying to piece it all together. And one thing he asks about is, the biblical flood, the one with Noah's Ark.
Oh, yeah. What do they say about that? Do they back up the story?
Well, their answer is a little unexpected. They suggest that the flood Noah experienced wasn't the same one that caused, these massive geological changes on Earth. According to the spirits, that happened way before humans were around.
Wait, so two floods, like one that wiped out the dinosaurs and then another one later on.
That seems to be what they're saying. They even hint that humans might have been around earlier than we think. They point to things like, the advanced civilizations in Egypt and India, which predate the supposed time of Adam and Eve.
Whoa, hold on. Are they saying our whole timeline of human history is wrong? Like there's this whole missing chapter?
They don't come right out and say that, but they definitely challenge us to, rethink what we think we know. It's like history is always being rewritten as we uncover new evidence.
It's true. We keep finding things that change our understanding of the past. Okay, so back to these other worlds they keep talking about. Any clues about what life might be like there?
Sadly, they don't give us any alien fashion tips, but they do talk about the nature of these civilizations.
Right, I'm all ears. Spill the cosmic tea.
They emphasize that, being morally and spiritually advanced isn't always tied to technology. In fact, they suggest some of these civilizations might be incredibly enlightened, far beyond anything we can imagine here on Earth.
So, super advanced, but also super peaceful and wise.
Yeah.
Like cosmic gurus.
Something like that. They
Yeah.
seem to be saying that true progress isn't just about, material stuff. It's about inner development. It's about compassion and understanding the bigger picture.
It's like they're saying, hey, Earthlings, you're pretty good at building spaceships, but have you figured out how to be kind to each other yet?
Right. And maybe that's the real key to reaching the next level of evolution, both individually and as a species.
Okay, so if these other civilizations are so advanced, spiritually speaking, what does that mean for us? Like, what can we learn from them?
That's a great question. And while the spirits don't give us a step-by-step guide to enlightenment, they do offer some insights.
Like what?
Well, they talk about the importance of self-knowledge, of understanding our own thoughts and emotions. They also emphasize the power of love and compassion, not just for those close to us, but for all beings.
It's like they're saying, hey, want to be more advanced? Start by looking within and then extending that love and compassion outward.
Exactly. It's about recognizing our interconnectedness, understanding that we're all part of this grand web of life.
I like that. It's a reminder that true progress isn't just about what we achieve externally, it's about who we become internally.
Right. And maybe, just maybe, as we evolve spiritually, we'll start to see evidence of these other civilizations, not as something to fear, but as potential teachers and guides.
Okay, that's an intriguing thought. So we're not just waiting for aliens to land, we're also working on raising our own consciousness to a level where we can connect with them.
Exactly. It's a two-way street. And who knows, maybe those connections are already happening in ways we don't yet understand.
All right, I gotta admit, this whole conversation has really opened my mind to some wild possibilities. I'm definitely seeing the universe in a new light now.
Me too. And the coolest thing is, we've only just scratched the surface of what the Spirits book has to offer. There's so much more to explore.
Well, then let's keep diving. I'm ready to see what other mind-blowing revelations await us. It really makes you think, doesn't it? All these other worlds out there may be full of life, civilizations that have evolved in ways we can't even fathom.
It's mind-boggling and kind of humbling, you know? Makes you realize just how much we don't know about the universe, about our place in it all.
It's like we're peeking through a keyhole, just getting a glimpse of this vast, mysterious something.
And that's what I find so captivating about the Spirits book. It really pushes you to think outside the box, to consider possibilities that might seem, I don't know, a little far out there at first.
But hey, maybe those far-out ideas are the ones that lead to, breakthroughs in understanding.
Exactly. It's about challenging our assumptions, right?
So, looking back at what we've talked about today, what would you say is the biggest takeaway from this whole creation chapter?
Hmm, that's a good question. I think for me, it's this idea that creation, it's not a one-time event, you know? It's this ongoing process, this unfolding that goes way beyond the stories we've been told.
Yeah, like we're part of something much bigger, something that's still unfolding, something that stretches far beyond our little planet.
Absolutely. And within that, there's incredible diversity, not just in terms of life forms, but also levels of consciousness, spiritual development, all of it.
So we're not alone, not by a long shot.
Right. And the spirits are pretty clear about that. They're saying there are other beings out there, and some might be way ahead of us on this evolutionary journey.
Which I gotta say is a little intimidating, but also kind of exciting.
Totally. It's like a reminder that we're always learning, always growing, always discovering new things.
And not just about science and technology.
Exactly. It's about exploring our inner world too, cultivating compassion and, figuring out how to live in harmony with each other and with the universe.
That's a message I think we could all use a little more of, especially these days.
Agreed. It's a vision of unity and diversity coexisting, different levels of consciousness interacting and learning from each other. It's hopeful, it's inspiring, and I think it's something we should all strive for.
I love that. So to our listeners, as we wrap up this deep dive into the Spirits book, we want to leave you with this. If life exists on other worlds, what might their creation stories be like? How would they understand their place in the universe?
That's a great question to ponder. Let your imagination run wild, explore the Spirits book for yourself, and most importantly, keep asking those big questions.
Keep searching, keep your mind open, and who knows what you might discover. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and until next time, keep exploring.